So making sure that it's not a theft of time issue either, where you're taking extra long breaks. Smokers get more breaks than anybody else, it seems. You know, they'll take 5 minutes, 10 minutes every hour. That's not fair to people who don't smoke. It's just, that's the type of thing you're gonna have to come across. Here's a good one. When is it appropriate to make personal calls at work? All right, I see some people that are always, they're either on, you can tell, I walk by, I see everything. You know, you walk by some people's office, you know, they're on Facebook, whatever the case may be, and then it's not really my place to say what other people are or aren't doing. What I don't want to do is hear that person complain later about the workload or something else. And that's where I have no tolerance whatsoever for stuff. None. So don't complain if you're going to sit there and spend your time talking on your phone to your boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever the case may be, or you're going to be on Facebook for 3 hours a day. Don't ever complain to me about your workload. Now, workplace diversity is an important topic. And diversity, I'm interested in hearing your definitions of diversity. Anyone?
Usually culture, their ethnical cultures, their race, age, beliefs on their beliefs against your beliefs. Like, that's typically like diversity. Yeah.
So people say they want a more diverse environment. What are they talking about? Okay. What type of backgrounds?
Different countries.
Why is that important?
Because you're going to serve people like that. You got people.
That's true. Anybody else?
It could also mean they want people, you know, like you were saying, you know, different ages, you know, maybe for the different range, not just around your age. You want them to be a little older so they might be a little more mature and, you know, give better guidance to employees.
Right. It's diversity of thought. Diversity of thought is the most important type of diversity, I think. And you can call me wrong, feel free to raise your hand. I'm happy to talk about that. But when we talk about diversity, you want people working in your organization that different, you don't want everybody that thinks the exact same way that you do or whatever the case is. You want different options, you want different ideas as to how to solve problems, because if everyone's thinking the same way, you don't need everybody then. You need everyone that, you know, bring different things to the table. Whether that's different, you know, backgrounds, ages, as you talked about last week with tattoos. You know, you know, we want people with different ideas and thoughts. A lot of times we look a lot at age, gender, economic status, physical makeup, intelligence, religion, sexual orientation, and other things. But I think it goes far beyond that. It goes far beyond race. It's diversity of thought. So every company nowadays will have a workplace diversity statement or talk about their inclusion practices, and we will talk about that. No matter what, if you follow a couple basic principles, everything's going to be okay, and you're never going to offend people, because we live in a very society where people can be offended quite easily. And but if you follow a couple basic rules, everything should be okay. First, no matter what the differences are, you treat everyone with respect and professionalism, no matter what. You don't sit there and you don't personally attack somebody like, that's stupid. You know, that's just, those are things you don't do. You embrace it. You actually talk things out. That's why that's why we have such a problem in society, is because people don't talk things out. And people don't say, hey, what do you think about this? We go in with just one mindset, well, this is the way it should be, and that's not the way it should be. You know, you talk it out and you figure out why. And diversity can be a huge asset to organizations, especially if you're a global organization, if you're an IHG or Marriott or some of these companies. If you just do things as, you know, if you're with Marriott, or if you're with IHG and you want the whole world to be just like it is in Atlanta at your headquarters, you're gonna have a big problem. That's why that can be an issue. Now, workplace diversity should only be an issue when diversity negatively affects performance. So you want to make sure that everyone feels comfortable in your organization, regardless of the aforementioned race, sexuality, gender, any of that. You want to make sure that everyone feels comfortable in talking. That's why you have to have a culture of candor and inclusion. Culture of candor, meaning that everyone should be candid at all times and saying what's on their mind. Problems happen at work and problems happen in organizations when people don't talk. And when people are, I better just keep my mouth shut about this. It happens at work, it happens in personal relationships, it happens all over the place, where people are afraid to talk about because they don't think it matters. And that's what you want to talk about when it regards to diversity and inclusion, making sure everyone's voice counts. The EEOC protects individuals from workplace discrimination, basically with regards to recruiting, hiring, wages, promotions, and unlawful termination. It's based on Title VII of the Civil Rights Act. It also protects individuals age 40 or older, like tattoos, physical and mental disabilities, gender, sexual orientation, hate crimes, pregnancy, and military service. You can't discriminate against people for things. That seems to be something that's so simple to me, yet I don't know how people don't embrace it. But that's why I would call it protected classes. Individuals legally protected from workplace discrimination. Everybody should be, if everyone did the right thing, what we talked about before, we wouldn't have these issues. Discrimination issues, again, race, age, gender, religion. Those are things that hopefully in years to come, we won't even have to have these discussions. So, diversity basics. Race is people with certain physical traits, culture, behavior patterns. What you said earlier, ethnocentrism is when people believe that their culture and their way of doing things is the best, and that doesn't work in the workforce like that. So that's why we talk about diversity. We talk about bringing people in, different ideas, to make things happen. Perception. People's perception can sometimes be, everyone's perception is their reality in essence. Anybody have any examples of someone's perception that may or may not be right?
It could be what you see from somebody when you first meet them, but once you get to know them, your like perception of them changes because you're like, oh, I was wrong. It's like judging a book by its cover.
Good point. Anyone else? All right. Now, everyone, we'll get to that right here. We're talking about stereotyping. Is stereotyping a good or bad thing?
More bad than good.
Interesting. Well, how's it good?
Well, from my point of view, mine's more about safety for like myself. Because we live kind of in a bad area, or at least here around the school campus, especially at nighttime, gets kind of scary. And so there's certain individuals who commit crimes in this area, and it's those stereotype, and that can keep you safe. And choosing a safer way of either traveling or maybe going outside.
Okay. Anyone else?
It kind of bounces off. I mean, he's right. It's kind of smart if you stereotype just a little bit to protect your own being. But like at my work, all I'll do is sell sunglasses. But it's just because we have certain cultures. People come in like gypsies or a certain looking person, and we just have to stereotype a little bit just to protect our company, protect the brand, and our merchandise. But at the same time, after that, we gotta once we introduce ourselves to them, we get an understanding, then we can probably take it back from what we were stereotyping them to once we finally get a full understanding of them.
Okay. How many of you said stereotyping was bad? How is it bad?
Well, putting people into groups just based off of what they look like can be a very negative thing for the person who that is happening to. Like if you take a woman and go, oh, this is a woman with tattoos and everything else, she's never going to go anywhere in life, then that's the mindset she gets if she keeps getting told that over and over and over again.
Okay. Anyone else?
Stereotyping is bad because you can't make an opinion of a group of people based off one person or one particular thing.
The greatest form, in my opinion, the greatest form of prejudice and racism or anything else is to look at somebody and think, just because of how someone looks, that you can judge how they're gonna, what they think and how they're gonna act. That to me is the greatest form of prejudice or anything that, when looking at people. I think it's horrible. Stereotyping, brought up stereotyping in regards to safety. Stereotyping, does it keep us safe? Do you think?
It can.
Okay.
Because if you stereotype them, you don't like verbally, stereotype them out loud to where you're actually saying, I'm sorry, I can't help you because you're led this way. That puts a more negative weight. But if you're doing it for yourself, you're like, okay, I don't feel. You look at them, you look at how they look and how they're presenting themselves, and you step away from that and go the opposite way because you stereotype them that way and you're just trying to protect yourself. And that could be more of a self-positive.
You have to look at it. I think you look at it a couple different ways. You look at it from a personal standpoint, from a professional standpoint. From a professional standpoint, if you're an employer, you can't stereotype against somebody coming in and expect judge a book by its cover and say, because this person checked these boxes, I'm not going to hire them. You can't do that. Stereotyping with regards to safety, as he brought up, that's the difference. I think personally, I see some validity to that, and I'll tell you why. If someone gives the impression that they're a mean person, or they want to give off this impression where they're some tough guy, whatever the case may be. If I'm walking down the street and I see this person walking towards me, I walk to the other side of the street. That's a form of stereotype. They're giving off the impression that they want to give off. Most people agree with that? All right, so I cross the street. If I cross the street and I see somebody else and they're exhibiting the same types of behavior, regardless of race, sex, tattoos, no whatever the case may be, I cross the street again.